Hello everybody, welcome to a new video of Jenny Speed Shop. So back at the V8 Turbo project, and I'm with the car where there's not still the good engine in it. So the original engine is still in it. M102 2.3 liter 4-cylinder engine, around 130 horsepower. I think this is the most popular 4-cylinder in this era, so it's a very popular engine. Runs pretty good. So if you're new to the channel, have a look in the right corner view. You can find my logo, click on it, see all the other videos of this project, and don't forget to subscribe of course and like the video. It was as long as possible of course. So I'm going to do one startup for the last time because it's a very good runner and it will be sold of course. So show you the last startup. Runs very good. So I'm going to start getting the engine out and transmission at once because it's a 4-speed automatic, so I will get the engine and transmission out of the car just like with the V8, so dismantle the center shaft. The front piece before the radiator is a solid piece, so I'm going to lift the engine over it. Leave the radiator in, I think, first just to have a look if it's possible to lift it. Get the fence rod out of the way, that's the stuff. Leave as much on the engine as possible. I'm going to sell it with all the electronics on it, so then the next owner can just put it in the car, get the ECU and the wiring that's still on it, just putting power on it. Fuel pump connected and just run it. So yeah, pretty good engine. It was very reliable to me. It's leaking a little bit of oil, because the owner before me didn't change the valve cover seal. You always have to put a new one in it, and I can see that this one is glued in again, an old one, so they always start to leak. So that's why the engine is a little bit greasy, but for the rest it's not smoking anything. So it was a very good engine. So I'm going to film partly parts of this and the engine out. Also going to weigh the engine, because I know now that the other engine and transmission weighs about 255 kilos. That's including all the parts, so all the bolt-ons and that sort of stuff. So I know that that engine is empty, so there's no oil and coolant in it, and the transmission is empty. So it will be, with all the fluids in it, maybe 10 kilos, 10-15 kilos more. So it will be around 270, 275 with all the fluids in it and that sort of stuff. So we will see. Now let's start. So for now, little update. I removed the bumper. You've seen that. I'm going to remove the stabilizer bar. The bumper is not really needed, but the stabilizer bar is just easier because it's running in front of the sump. So that's not that easy. I disconnected the transmission fluid lines, return and pressure line to the cooler that is on the side of the cooler. There is just an heat exchanger in it. Oil dripped out of it. Let the cool water out of it as much as possible. What I need to do here is I have to disconnect the steering pump lines to the steering box. 2 lines, get some oil out of it. Here it's very good to remember that you also remove the earth cable. The earth cable is removed on the transmission. 2 connectors on this side. There's 1 connector to the transmission in here, and the speedo cable is going in here. I'll look if I can show you that, because that is here. There's a speedo cable is going in this small box. There's just a 10mm bolt on the side. You screw it out of there, and you can see the bolt is normally in this little space over there. So that's it. Remove the exhaust system from off the header completely. Also the center shaft, or the drive shaft, or the, how you want to call it, is removed. So the rest I can drop later on, but first I can just put it on the wheels. So the only thing that's connected to the transmission is the shift linkage. You can see this one is completely worn out, if you can see. There's no bushing in it or anything else anymore. So I just remove the rod, because it cannot hang on anything. Then there's only the transmission mount. Get transmission mount out. Engine wise, there is just the wiring, but there is nothing left on the transmission that's connected. On this side is nothing connected. So there are some vacuum lines, but they are going with the engine out of there. I think I can leave the steering rods from left to right in the car, because it will not drop that far. There's just much more room. You can look over the engine, so that's new for me, that you got space in there. Now how I look to it is just I'm going to remove the radiator, because it's just easier. Yeah, we can do that. So to the next bits. So lots of things are removed again. Removed a lot of connectors. So first I wanted to have the wiring of the engine, to keep the wiring loom on the engine. I did not do that because it's all wired in, so I have to look what I need to get out. So first on this side, disconnected the alternator. It's just 1 connector, it's laying here. This is just with 3 points on it, it just goes into the alternator. Then you have the wiring loom. The wiring loom goes back. That is this loom. All the connections are on one side of the engine. It's going over the engine here. Then it's connected to this is starter, injector, to pressure. There's a pressure regulator from the Kayatronic. Some other sensors. And you got also on this side with the ignition. So ignition is here. Also the coil. And then you have some vacuum connection that's in there. I have to have a look where it's from. But there is, I think this one is vacuum from the engine, and then it goes to the transmission, because it's going underneath there. Throttle cable is removed. Was not needed, I think, because the throttle cable is connected to the transmission, and from the transmission into the car. So yeah, it's different than on a manual version. So cooling lines are disconnected. So this has more wiring. This is also connected. This is for the ignition, for the coil. It's a plus and a minus. I don't know where this will go, because there is another 2 connections on it that will also go into the engine wiring. So maybe this is some kind of control. I have to have a look, because this needs to go out. Then I still have the how you say that? That's the diagnostic port connection. There are also some wires to it. So I disconnected everything on the easiest way, because I have to have a look to the engine wiring. So the only thing I need to disconnect from the engine now is the leveling pump, hydraulic pump on the front. I will just, at first I just get this bolt off, and this is the suction line I get off. This is the pressure line. Put it in the can. Also the can needs to go to the side, but I need to have this still in the car. So the plan for me is now first put the engine in it, so I have the right weight in the car, most as possible, and then drive this pump with an 12-volt drill machine. Just have it at 1000 RPM or something, and then I can have oil pressure and also can test the front side. So the one that's in here now, this is the ECU for the Kiatronic. The other one is disconnected. That's ABS, and then this is some kind of relay that's in here normally. I will show you that later. That's for the kick down. To sort out what this relay is for, and then for the rest. Yeah, it's pretty clean. I got a lot of room in here, so I think I can lift it out without problem. So that's the next thing. Lifting out the engine and check the weight on it. So lifting the engine, let's have a look what the weight is. I know the other one was 255 kilos, something like that. I'll post the pictures below the video. So this is, have a look. So it only weighs now I will put it completely down. Put it on 0. Yeah? Okay. So it's completely off the ground. I have to put the air filter on. So this weight is already surprising me a lot. So I now have, can you see it? 232 kilos, including the air filter box and that sort of stuff. Ignition stuff, everything is on it. So the only thing that's still in the engine is oil and transmission fluid. So let's say that is 15 kilos, then I'm 28 kilos off. So that's very good, I think. That's very good. Because this engine, I also measured. I will put the photos below the video. This was 255 kilos, including everything. But yeah, there is no transmission fluid in it, or it's low. And the engine is emptied of coolant and oil. So this is empty. I think it's empty. So that's pretty impressive, I think, the weight. Because the turbo system, everything was on it when I weighed it. I also have the empty weight, so I always am also going to weigh the engine without the transmission. The V8 was a Ford 187 kilos, so I'll put the pictures below this video. So if you're on my website, you can see below this video, you can see the pictures of the weights. So this is pretty impressive. I'm very happy with this, but because it's heavier than I think it is. I thought it was much less. Now it's gone out. So 232 kilos. So that's I think that's good news, because I will have then 30 kilos more than this engine, around that number. That was also what I thought it would be, and the only thing that makes the car heavier then is bigger radiator, bigger intercooler and pipes, but that's not too bad. So this car weighs around 1400. I weighed it at 1460 kilos, 700 kilos on the front axle, 760 on the back axle. My brakes and everything is bigger diff and that sort of stuff. So so 30 kilos more, I think. I have to put the flutes and that sort of stuff in it. Oil, I think it will be around 15-20 when ready. So that's really good, I think. I think now the back is heavier than the front. That's pretty weird, but I weighed it like that. It was 760 in the back with a quarter of a fuel tank. Front was 700, so if I put the fuel tank full, it will be around 800 kilos in the back. So it will stay heavier in the back, but that's very good for grip, I think. But I hope to get it to 50-50. So I think on the front it will be around 50 kilos max heavier than factory. So because I think my rims are a little bit heavier, so it's very good. So I put the weight stuff below this video. I think this is really good news. So engine is out of the car. I have it for sale, but I'm still thinking about maybe keeping the engine for some future projects. Maybe I have some ideas in my head already. I'm not going to tell you anything about that, but yeah, I have to have a look. Transmission will be sold. I will not do anything with the 4-speed. And the Kiatronic will be sold. I have to sort out the wiring. It looks like shit now, but this cable I need to sort out and get all the other wiring out of it that I don't need, because I don't want any wires in the car that after a few years you say, hey, this is a cut off wire. This where is it from? So I don't want that. This needs to be rewired to get to the alternator. It's on the same side, same position, so that's very good. To this point, ABS will stay. It's not in the way, but I'm still thinking it needs to be working. Now I get a fault in it, so I think the sensors are ready. So I will check all the sensors, all the connectors. Most of the time there's a sensor fault in it. So there's some wiring on that side that I need to check, but for the rest, this engine bay looks really good. It's not rusted through on a very bad spot. There's one spot over here. I think you can see it here. There's a hole here. That's the only real hole in it. For the rest, it's in very good condition. It's not too bad. So this oil tank needs to be moved because the turbo is in here. So I have to look what I'm going to do with it, because I have in the donor car that the oil tank is on that side, but it needs to be bigger because I'm going to change the front suspension also to hydraulic. So I think I need a bigger tank. This pump will be moved, and don't know if I keep it, because this is normally there's some out of my head I don't know for sure what it really does. It is, I think it is because if you parked and then you can still use the heater in the car, it will still pump fluid out of the engine through the heater in the car. So yeah, but it's in the way. But I have to find a solution also for this tube, because my wastegate is somewhere here. So this will also be moved. So we will see. So very good news about the engine weight, because on the internet you see the engine weight is 168 kilos or something. But yeah, then the transmission should be, it's a possibility. The transmission weighs about 80 kilos, can be possible. So, very good news. Thanks for watching. If there are any questions about this subject, breaking down the engine or wiring and connectors, I will put a lot of pictures below this video. I made pictures of all the wiring that I removed from the engine. So if you have any questions, ask. Have a look at my website, jansspeedshop.com. if you're new to the channel, in the right corner for you, my logo, click on it. Subscribe, like the video, that's very good for my listing on YouTube. So thanks for watching. See you for the next video. Bye bye.